Recently flew to Berlin to attend a new car launch, and I wasn't alone. There were a few proper automotive journalists attending. We came to try out the soon-to-be-released e-Golf. The entire electric package, motor, battery management and battery, fits perfectly inside the Mark 7 Golf and takes up no more space than the petrol or diesel systems. They also had this rather cool single-seater electric concept car on display, and no, I didn't have a go in it. Shame, looked like it might be fun. The event took place in the equally iconic Tempelhof Airport in the middle of Berlin, and a row of fully charged, brand new e-Golfs awaited, alongside a historic collection of Volkswagen electric vehicles from previous decades. Yes, all those are electric too. But the e-Golf is very understated. It looks exactly the same as the petrol or diesel model. It's only when you drive it, you notice a difference.
Oh, thank you. Danke. Very, very polite German drivers in the Potsdamer Platz in Berlin this morning. There's a little bit of road work going on.
Follow that B1 for 2 kilometers.
I'm going to follow the B1 for 2 kilometers. So what I'm driving is literally, I've just got in and I couldn't even start it. Is the e-Golf, Volkswagen e-Golf, which is being launched at the moment. I'm coming to Berlin to try that. There's this phenomena called compliance vehicles, because there's so much pressure on motor manufacturers to produce zero emissions vehicles because of city centre air pollution. Places like Paris that recently banned cars driving on alternate days, all sorts of legislation going through. Manufacturers are very aware of it. Some of them are just like chucking a bit of an electric motor and a battery into their existing petrol cars and going, there you go, we've done it, shut up, let us get on making massive V8s. And some manufacturers aren't doing that, and I think it's fair to say that Volkswagen are one of the manufacturers that aren't doing it. So this is a Golf. It looks exactly the same as other 7 Series Golfs, the latest version of the Golf, except they've clearly really worked very hard, and they've managed to fit the battery into the space that the exhaust manifold, the gearbox and the petrol tank take up in the standard Golf, which is interesting because that is quite a lot of space. And people forget about that, how big gearboxes are, how big fuel tanks are, how enormously big and complex and expensive and replacement cost expensive of exhaust systems to comply with emissions. And so the interior of this Golf is exactly the same. It's not compromised in any way. And it's similar to the E-Up, which was designed right from the start to be either a petrol or electric car. So it feels and looks exactly the same inside as a standard Golf, but it's really, really nice to drive. I think it's, I need to point out that I am Golf biased. So I've driven loads of Golfs and owned loads of Golfs over the years, and they've always proven to be extremely reliable, really well made cars that are really nice to drive, really comfortable. Everything about the layout in here is just, instantly you get in, you just get in and drive it, and then you go, oh my god, I can see everything without any struggle. I haven't had to adjust anything, it just sort of works. Why they can do this so much better than everybody else? Not everybody else, I'm being a bit unfair, but a lot of other manufacturers, it's kind of unfair. They've really got it down. So it has the similar battery capacity to the Nissan Leaf, but just over 24 kilowatt hours. It is more efficient in its use of energy. There, driving data, that's what I want. So I'm doing 15.3 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, which they're claiming that this car will do 12 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers energy use, which is extremely good, because this car is essentially roughly the same size as the Nissan Leaf, which I know uses slightly more than that, but at the moment with my driving style I'm not quite achieving that. So I'm really not concentrating at all where I'm going. I'm driving through this incredible, amazing historic city that is an extraordinary place to visit, Berlin, if you ever get the chance to do it. And I'm not appreciating it at all because I'm looking at the little dashboard on my car. It tells you how fast you can go and your average speed, which is 19 kilometers an hour. And I've driven 12 kilometers. It's taken 41 minutes because it's in the city, obviously, so you can't go very fast. I've got 140 kilometers of range remaining, which is very nice to know, because I've got to drive about another 12 kilometres, so I think I'll make it. So the Regen is controllable. So there's 3 settings of how much Regen you get just from ordinarily driving. And I've got it on the maximum now, but I'm going to take that off. Oh, you do it like that too. Oh, that's nice.
Prepare to keep right.
Prepare to keep right. I'm going to let this man cross the road. There's no need for me to speak in a German accent just because I'm in Germany. So it's for sale in the UK very soon, right-hand drive models. It'll cost you about just over £25,000, including, as people on YouTube have pointed out, including the government grant. So it's about a £30,000 car. So it's roughly the same cost as the BMW i3. I think it's like £100 less than the BMW i3. So it's in that same price range. And I think it will probably have a realistic driving range in miles of 90 to 100 miles. They have some really clever little things like a heated windscreen. So instead of having to have fans on the windscreen, I think the best way of describing the experience of driving this is just that. Very quiet, and then just go, oh, that's nice. Oh. That's my review in total. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that is great. Now it just when you let it coast like I am at the moment, it just sort of rolls along. It's the family of the XL1, the E-Up, and now the Golf E. They've got this thing. I mean, I'm not doing anything. It keeps moving. How the hell is it? Why is it moving along? It's using no power at all. It is slowing down, but so slowly. I'm now going to have to use engine braking just to not run into the Mercedes that's in front of me. Wow, that is brilliant. Because you can really feel that you can just go. 13. So I'm down to 13.7 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, which I'm very proud of. But now I'm going to have to accelerate a tiny bit. This is, I have to admit, quite fetishistic electric car driving. A normal person wouldn't do this. You just get in it and drive it and you wouldn't think about it. Interestingly, Volkswagen, when they introduce this in the UK, they will one of the partnership deals they've done is with British Gas to supply the wall box charger for your house. And the car will charge, roughly the same speed. So realistically, I think overnight, 6 to 8 hours. If the battery is very empty, it maybe take 8 hours. This is on a 16 amp, what we would think of as a 16 amp charger, I think. But they're also, you can get a preferential deal with Ecotricity to supply your electricity, because they do a special electric car owners deal on a special tariff from Ecotricity. And so Volkswagen are, you don't have to do that if you buy one of these, but you get a special deal to be able to do it, which is quite, I think, just quite intriguing for me personally. It feels kind of quite appropriate, and I feel quite involved in that whole thing, so that's very nice. So you get your British Gas wall box and your Ecotricity supply, which, to be honest, sounds like a really good combination of those two companies.
Now, this is just a sneak glimpse of a car that's coming out later this year, the Golf GTE. I did drive it, but I wasn't allowed to film the experience. I'll just say this, it's quite quick.